Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? It is Wednesday. My name is Sabrina Victoria. For those of you that do not know me, I own a company called Human Better 365, which is a human transformation company that specializes in time management, organization, and procrastination, and all of the things. By the way, stay tuned because I have some amazing stuff going on with Human Better 365 over the next few months. We are launching some just crazy information that I am so excited about as far as taking Human Better 365 and my vision to the next level. So super, super excited about that. Anyways, I come on here live Monday through Friday, talking about a different topic every single day. Mondays, I talk about business and finances on a show called Collect That Money, Honey. On Tuesday, I come on and I talk about time management, organization, and procrastination. That's my thing. On a show called Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. On Wednesday, that's today, I talk to my females on a show called Nation of Diamonds, which is all about female health, mental, emotional relationships, and all that goodness. Thursdays, I talk to my millennials. I am an elder millennial born in 1982. So I talk real talk to the millennials of the world and encourage breaking the cycles. And then on Friday, I talk to my sober community. I've been sober for over 16 years. And I run a community called the Sober Society where we spark the joy back into the sober community and recognize the fact that I am an alcoholic isn't the greatest identity to be walking around this world in for the duration of your life. So we key in on who are you really? I am statements and standing powerfully in who you are as a healthy, vibrant individual. So listen, today I am here. It is Wednesday. I am talking to my females today. For those of you that don't know, I am very active within the codependent community. I myself am a recovering codependent. Just when I think I have kicked the bucket, something else pops up and I get triggered. But I am on my healing journey. I have come such a long way in my journey. I now stand powerfully in who I am, what I stand for, and all of the goodness that is me. And really, really work diligently and not falling back into that role that is easy for me to fall back into. So this show today is called Victim No More. For those of you that have been around codependents or know a codependent, or you are a codependent, you know that the victim mentality is many times associated with that identity. And there's a reason why. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today in order to kind of break that chain and break that cycle so you can move on from that and really start to kind of curve the way that you view life. I really do believe that it is awareness. We all know this. The first step into recovering from anything or healing from anything is to first acknowledge the fact that it is a problem. And then once you acknowledge the fact, like, okay, yes, that's me, then you can start to take those steps towards doing it just a little bit better than you were doing it before. So codependents in general are caretakers, they're enablers, they're rescuers. They like to fix things, they like to nurture, they like to fuss over everyone all the time. It's very much a your wish is my command type of mentality. And this is the thing. They love to rescue people from their own responsibilities. So as if codependents or just people in general don't have enough to do, they also decide that it is their responsibility to do all the things for all of the people also. So This is very big within the homes of individuals that are dealing with addiction, whether it's alcohol abuse or drug abuse, because usually people that are in that state of mind need to be enabled. They need to be taken care of. So a lot of times codependents tend to link up with individuals like that. It's a nice little match because codependents like to rescue people. They like to be caretakers. But this is where it gets weird. So codependence, a lot of times, this can happen with anybody. So if you're not, codependent, maybe with your spouse, you could be codependent with family, friends, acquaintances, clients. It could literally happen to anyone, with anyone around us, or all the people around us. It just kind of depends on the dynamic of, how you interact in your world. But the cycle that I really want to talk about is kind of a three-prong. A lot of times it's described as a triangle. I know that it does relate to somebody. There is somebody that teaches this, and I apologize for not having that person's name, but if you just want to Google, I'm sure you could easily find it out. I just jumped on here with this brilliant idea. I got off with a coaching call. We did some awesome deep dives into her codependency issues, and I just want to jump on here real fast and just kind of give a rundown of what our call was about today, and give this tidbit of information. So the triangle that I'm talking about is rescue, persecute, victim. And it rescue, persecute, victim, rescue, persecute, victim. And we go in this little triangle dynamic over and over and over again. It is the cycle of the codependent. Now, these individuals, codependents, they say yes when they mean no. They do way more than their fair share of work. Okay, so if these two things already are like, what? If they're resonating with you, more than likely, this might be the first time you're hearing of this. I remember when I first heard of this codependent thing and I started reading up on it, I was probably 28 or 29 years old, and my eyes just bugged out of my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I didn't know this. So if this is resonating with you, you're going to want to dive into codependency, figure it out so that you can really start to move forward in your life. Because when you're taking on other people's responsibilities, you're slowing your own life down. You're slowing down your own journey. So this is just a short list. There's tons more, but if any of this resonates with you, you're probably 99% a codependent. So say yes when you really mean no. They do way more than their fair share of work. I say like yes to all of these. Give more than they receive. Yes. Do things that they don't want to do. Yes. Love fixing other people's feelings. I'm a coach. Yes. Think for people. Speak for other people in order to be the shield or the savior. This was like my identity so much with my ex. My ex was a very, very abusive individual. I describe him as a narcissist. If you look up all of the traits of a narcissist, he literally hits every single one of them. I think except for like one. It's insane. But my identity was like the shield because he would just freak out at people. So what would happen is he would freak out at me, and then I would then have to convey the message. We worked together. So the only way to kind of keep the business rolling safely without people quitting left and right is I would take the brunt of the force and then relay the message that he said calmly and lovingly to keep the flow rolling. And that's how the business grew to what it grew to. And anytime, I was no longer in the business. We had our ups and downs where I left or quit or whatever it was, and he had to take over. The whole business would start to crumble because people couldn't work with him because he was so abrasive. But this was my identity. So every single day, multiple times a day, I'm getting hit with this mental and emotional and verbal abuse, taking it on like a warrior and being told that I'm strong and being told, I can count on you, and taking on this really strong identity. Meanwhile, I'm like so burdened with just stress and anxiety and depression and feeling insignificant and unworthy. And my self-esteem, my confidence just freaking plummeted to the floor. It was crazy. But this is what codependents do. They get stuck in these situations where they're trying to be the rescuer. They're trying to be the savior. They're trying to solve people's problems. They put more effort into a project or something that's going on than everybody else in the company, in the family. And also, they don't ask for what they need or for what they desire. They just kind of keep their mouth closed and do all of the things and never ask for anything in return. And the reason they do this is because, well, first of all, this stems from childhood. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. This stems from childhood. And I do coaching in this arena. I have a whole story behind, my story, I guess, and the reason I got into this as far as coaching within the world of trauma, because of my own story. And I would love to help you if you're a codependent and you see the signs and you're checking yes to all of those things. Reach out. I would love to help you. I actually have an offer going on right now for 15 sessions of coaching for an amazing price. I would love to get you onto my calendar and help you navigate through this to the other side so that you can begin your healing journey. But the reason a lot of times this happens is because they feel awkward if they're not helping. That weird feeling of somebody asking for help and then you say no. That's awkward. They feel guilty. There's anxiety. There's pressure, fear, pity. There's urgency a lot of times. People who are used to getting enabled, a lot of times they wait till the very last minute. They procrastinate whatever it is to the very last minute. And then all of a sudden, there's all this anxiety and urgency that's put on the matter. And the only way to get it done is in time is if more than one person is working on it. And then as a codependent, getting pulled into that project or pulled into that conversation or whatever it is last minute, because the person, the individual who isn't very responsible, is needing your assistance. So how do you take care of that? How do you deal with that? How do you stop doing that? What does that look like? And I would love to show you what that looks like. I do have an exercise at the end of this little spiel here that I would love for you to do. If you can't do the coaching, but you're just like, just give me a little bit of help, please. I do have an awesome exercise at the end of this. So listen to the end, maybe another 10 minutes or so. But again, check out the link, see if it works for you. I would love to help you. I am huge within the time management, organization, procrastination. A lot of times this is what this comes down to. We see we have a problem. We know we have a problem. We continue to procrastinate on that issue. We're codependent, so everything is a lot of times completely disorganized in our own life. Maybe the house looks great. Maybe the career looks great, but the organization within our mind, the organization with our money, the organization with our health is a lot of times going out the window, because it is absolutely impossible for somebody to do all the things for all the people correct all the time and then also take care of themselves. It's totally impossible. So a lot of times what happens is we let ourselves go mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and it's a mess. So I use a lot of techniques when it comes to managing our time, our focus, our energy, and really creating a really comprehensive way to manage your time while we're working on how to heal and how to come out of that identity of codependency and retrain all of the people around us, So the next prong on that triangle is persecute. And this is going to sound familiar. So we do all the things, codependents do all the things for all of the people. And then they get super, super mad. They get peeved. They do the silent treatment. They yell, they scream, they blame, they're bitter. There's a ton of resentment because they're continuously doing for other people, and those people are not doing for them. And it gets very frustrating, and the cycle just continues. And maybe the enabler says they're gonna, or maybe the person that you are enabling continues to say, I'll do better next time. I promise. I'll do it differently. I'm going to start doing this. I'll get more organized. I promise. And you believe that promise. You believe that it's going to be different. And then it's not different. And then you get angry and you're stuck with the urgency because of the last minute things, because of the procrastination stuff. And you feel, kind of that it's necessary for you to be able to get involved, and then you get irritated, you get bitter, you get frustrated. So that's when the persecution happens, when you start just reaming these individuals out. And what happens is, they're not holding up their end of the bargain. It seems that you're calling out the fact that they're incompetent, that they're incapable, and this starts a huge argument within the family dynamics, whether it's the family, whether it's friends, whether it's coworkers, because no one likes to be labeled incompetent. Nobody wants to be labeled incapable. So all of a sudden, you're starting to dust things off and recognize hey, listen, you're not holding up your end of the bargain. That elicits a defense reaction or argument or anger in that other person. So your anger is met with their anger, and this is when these huge blowouts happen. But what we have to recognize as codependents is if we changed the way that we interacted in our world and stopped feeling responsible for other people's actions or inactions or feelings, that a lot of times we can prevent these huge blowouts from happening because we wouldn't have enabled them in the first place. Does that make sense? So all of that anger, all of that arguing, all of that blame shifting, those excuses, all of that stuff goes away because we didn't do the initial agreement of being responsible for them. Instead, they are responsible for themselves, and whatever reaction or anger elicits from their own lack is on them. So you're exited out of that situation, which is just absolutely brilliant. Now, the third prong, and for those of you that are already seeing the line between rescuer, codependent, persecute, getting mad, feeling bitter, feeling jaded, right there. There's your first side. The second side would be from persecute to victimhood. So the whole forever victim. Why is this always happening to me? Why do I end up in situations like this? Why are all my friends users? Why do I always end up with a spouse who takes advantage of me? Why do I always feel unappreciated? Victim, playing the victim. So there is a reason for this. It usually stems from your past. If you are seeing this triangle, this cycle right here, this usually stems from your past. I would love to have a conversation with you about this. Like I said, I have this special going on right now, limited time, 15 sessions. Click the link, sign up, and let's get you healed and get this identity of codependency off your back so you can start focusing on yourself and letting all the people around you focus on themselves. And then we can all just live parallel together and rise and rise. I know that there are things in your life that you want to get done. I know there are things in your life that you are procrastinating on because you are taking care of all the other people in your life. We need to cut that out. So this is the exercise that I want you to do. Take out a piece of paper. If you're at home now and you're capable, take out a piece of paper. I want you to write down a list of all of the responsibilities you have as a person. Everything that you do as a person, whether taking care of yourself, taking care of others, taking care of a house, work, kids, mother, pops, uncle, clients, every single, it's going to be a long list. It's going to be a huge, huge list. Okay. Because just in general, right? We're in charge of brushing our teeth. Are you also in charge of brushing your 5-year-old's teeth, right? Where's the age for that where they need to start becoming responsible for brushing their own teeth? Our children, we start to enable our children at a very young age. If your child is 4 or 5 years old, they are perfectly capable of brushing their teeth on their own. You can brush your teeth with them. You can go in there and you can show them like this, up and down and right and left and this. But for you to actually be opening their mouth and brushing their teeth for them, that is enabling. This is stuff that people do. This is stuff that parents do for their children, for their coworkers, just silly things that we are taking on responsibility for that is not necessary. It is not necessary. So all the things that you have to do as a person, then that's list one. Number two, a second list of all of the responsibilities of the people around you, How short is the list comparatively? Are there things that you can shift from your list onto these other people so that you are having a lighter list instead of enabling spouses, partners, children, mom and dad, clients, employees, bosses? Where is the line in the sand so that you can finally start to breathe? So the whole point of this is to be able to recognize how long your list and how short these other individuals' list. Does your partner just come home from work and then that's it? Do they get home, watch TV, and do nothing else in the morning or in the afternoon and on the weekends? But then your list is 100 items long. There's some discrepancy there, but until you actually write it down, until you actually get a visual of this, it's very, very difficult to actually visually see the difference. This is something that you could even show them if you wanted to. But either way, that is one of the first steps to being able to start to stop that enabling that's going on in your life. Take a step back, realize that it will stay this way until you start making some changes. So until you decide to start making some changes, it'll stay. If you agreed with every single thing that I said during this little video here, and you're like, yes, 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 I do all of those things, then you have codependent issues and your life is going to stay the same and get even more overwhelming as the years go out, which is going to lead to burnout, depression, anxiety, frustration, feeling a constant void, feeling unfulfilled, not feeling happy. it's going to get worse, because more as a person gets older, there's more and more stuff, and they're not taking it on, you're taking it on. And the more you say yes, the more that they give you, because they know you're not going to say no. So the first step, start saying no. Start saying no. Somebody asks you to do something, think about it. Do you want to? Do you have time? If the answer is no, just say, sorry, I can't. It's going to be uncomfortable, but this is a muscle that you haven't worked your whole life. Your whole life, you've been saying yes, 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 yes to all of the things. And it's going to start getting worse until you start to put your foot down and say no. Refuse to guess what people need. Stop looking around trying to figure out what everybody else needs. They are capable of getting their own napkin. They're capable of getting their own drink. They're capable of getting a second helping of dinner. They're capable. Allow them to take care of themselves. Sit down and relax. Stop taking care of people who are capable of taking care of themselves. So I would love to show you, tell you more about this, share more with you. I would love to coach you in this arena. This is the link right here, yes.humanbetter365.com/15. It's /15 because there's 15 sessions in that program. I work it with you one-on-one. So this isn't like group coaching. This isn't a webinar. This is me and you literally speaking about your specific issues, your specific challenges, your specific struggles, and giving you an action plan on how to move forward out of that mind space. So I certainly hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow talking to my millennials. As I always say,